Class today. It is November 28th, 2018, and it is 8:48 in the morning. We're doing week 5 of our labs. We only had one lab this particular week, and it was about carbohydrates and breaking down sugar for our different bacteria. I'm gonna whip the camera around and start going over some of the things that we did. So here's our different sugars. We have mannitol, fructose, and glucose. At one point, these did have powdered sugar inside of it. And we had to do 6 test tubes. Here's our 6 test tubes. And we had to label them 1 through 3. And we tested 2 different bacterias. We did Cerevisiae and Staphylococcus epidermidis. I hope I pronounced that right. And then, so here's our glucose results for both of them. And then within them, we have an inner tube. Excuse me. It's called the Durham test tubes. And within the Durham test tubes, they hold gas. And based on the color, and you can see some air bubbles within these, shows they were able to fermentate with acid. They're acid base. This was the glucose tubes. And then we have our fructose tubes. And they also have fermentation. There's also air bubbles within the Durham tube. And because of the positive color change to this yellowish color, we know that the bacteria used up all the sugar and fermented with the acid base. And then here's our mannitol. And also had some acid within there. This was a pretty straightforward lab, but we were able to tell that the 2 bacteria need a food source, obviously a sugar. All 3 test tubes for each group of bacteria were a positive test and positive color change, and they all use acid base because we have air bubbles within the Durham tubes. And that's just about it. We use our broths to get our cultures. It took about 12 hours. Mine took a little bit more than that. It took about 18 hours for them to have a positive color change and for me to see these air tubes. So just almost 24 hours for total cultures. Excuse me. With the Durham tubes, there also were sanitized using alcohol. So there was no other microbes that should have been introduced into these test tubes. So anyway, that explains our week 5 lab. Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you.